Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Gaming with the G Show. I am your host, G63, and I am with a great panel today. JR.
Hi.
Very simple. I like that. And, of course, the big man, the boss man of the whole group, G1.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I don't have to host today. My hosting duties is on the side. I get to be a part of the panel, and I'm excited.
And I am excited too. And guys, less than a week, half a week left until E3, and I am excited. There is so much happening. It's every hour there is something new. So I want to get in with you guys and see what games are you guys excited about, the new news that's coming out, consoles, new games, new franchises, all that. So that's what I want to get started on. So the first things I want to go up with is, of course, the top games announced for E3. So I'm going to go through a few of them. You know, whatever that's not mentioned, I want you guys to obviously jump in when I'm done. So these are the random top games that I've been doing research. Okay, so I will start with Star Wars Battlefront 2, God of War, Kingdom Hearts 3, Assassin's Creed Origins, Super Mario Odyssey, the Spider-Man PS4 game that was announced last year, but we haven't heard anything about it for a whole year. So that's going to be a big thing. The Last of Us Part 2, Far Cry 5, Splatoon 2, Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Final Fantasy VII Remake, and Destiny 2. Are any of those games you guys interested in?
Yes. Star Wars Battlefront 2, when I played the first one, I was like, I waited until it was $20 with all the DLC, and I play like fucking crazy on my Xbox One. I'm excited that they're improving, actually making a fucking game with Battlefront 2. That's, something I'm excited for. Honestly, from Episode 7, Kylo Ren, I'm a huge Kylo Ren fan, and I'm excited to play as Kylo Ren. Dude, it's going to be off the chains with that. I'm going to get it from my Xbox One S to keep the tradition going with my Xbox, having all my Star Wars shit on that because, the upscale 4K, whatever. And I'm really excited for God of War. It can go in any direction at this point, and I'll still play it. I'm a huge fan. And I guess one more thing I'll really say is Destiny 2. I wasn't a huge fan of the first. Actually, I fucking hated the first, and I made it well known I fucking hated the first. No, I'm going to tell a quick story. I spent 3 months at light level 24. 3 months before I finally got a legendary piece of gear. 3 solid fucking months. I will never get over that. But I'm curious to see what they do with it. I know a lot of people are hyped for it, and I'm like, you guys did it with the first, and you were highly disappointed, and you're doing it again. Let's just tone it back a bit. I have no expectations for it.
I feel like it's kind of like with the Star Wars game. It's kind of like, they pushed it out so quickly, but they didn't fine-tune it, and hopefully with the sequels, for both of them, that it's much better than its predecessor. So hopefully for those two games, it's much better. They have a really good story going, a storyline, single player. But G1, what do you think about these games or any of the other games that I put out?
Well, right off the bat, Star Wars. You guys know that. I'm a fucking Star Wars mark, so I'm all up with Battlefront 2. Unlike JR, I actually spent 120 fucking bucks for Battlefront 1 because I bought that shit at drop with all the bells and whistles, and I'm not a multiplayer type of gamer. I suck at it. I get my ass handed to me all the time. So, yes, best believe I was very upset because I suck at the game, and the modes where you can actually just play by yourself is minuscule. I honestly hated it. It wasn't until later on, I forgot, I think they put up Skirmish, which was cool. I like Skirmish. You could play by yourself. And then you could do Skirmish, the flight simulators. So that was all right. But being that Battlefront 2 is going to have a story mode, that's exciting for me. And I really hope that they expand on, the skirmishes. Because I love the original Battlefront games for the PS2. Like, I loved them. Unfortunately, my dumbass traded them in early. I should have never have traded those in. I had fun. There was some replay value on it. But my whole thing was, well, I beat it. If I traded it now, I could get some decent credit for it to get something new. And that was my mistake. And Battlefront 1 in this generation didn't live up to those as far as the first-person game, the single-player game goes. I'm a huge mark for God of War. Listen, man, Kratos is that is Sony's godsend, and that, no pun intended, but that is Sony's godsend. And last year at E3, when we saw this new like Norse mythology with God of War, and that's not Kratos, yet it is Kratos, I'm indifferent. I'm very indifferent because I'm a sucker for continuity, and I want my Kratos, you know? Now, it was kind of crazy because he had the Spartan rage, but it doesn't make sense because he's not a Spartan, right? So I'm really looking forward to seeing what Sony does at E3 in regards to God of War, this new God of War. Assassin's Creed Origins, I'm scratching my head. I'm not a big Assassin's Creed fan. I like the idea and concept of the third one because I like that particular time period. But this Origins thing, I'm kind of like, what? I mean, where are you going? Are you going Far Cry Primal with this shit? Where are you going? It doesn't make any goddamn sense to me. Spider-Man PS4 is a bought automatic. I'm looking forward to that because it just looks fucking fun. And the only time I ever had fun with a Spider-Man game was Web of Shadows. I think it was Web of Shadows, where you had to fight Venom at the end. That was fucking amazing.
Yeah, Web of Shadows.
And as far as Destiny is concerned, again, unlike JR, I totally sucked at that game. I got it for free when I bought my PS4. The first Destiny, I didn't like it, man. I couldn't get into it at all. And I'm a Bungie mark. I love Bungie because of what they did for Halo. But I couldn't get into it. My brother was like, no, you got to keep playing. And I'm like, no, I got to trade this shit in right now. And that's what I did. So, yeah. Battlefront 2, top of the thing. God of War, very, very intrigued. And what the hell's going on with Assassin's Creed Origin?
I think they're just pushing the titles. I wanted to bring this around is, do you think, because, you know, every E3 or every new year, they're always bringing back the same franchises every year. Call of Duty, Assassin's Creed, those two games pretty much seem to be the ones that I keep seeing every year. And do you think that they're milking it too much where, you know, it could be this year, could be next year, where the sales starts, you know, dwindling for the franchises because, you know, people are getting tired of these games being pushed out every year, not giving them 2 or 3 years of a breathing room. Like, do you guys agree with that?
Well, let me tell you, man. I remember a time when the music genre was all the rage. Look, Rock Band was the shit, and before Rock Band was Guitar Hero, and I sucked at that. But you know, my buddy G2, his brother, they had it, and they put me onto it, and then we used to play in G2's house all the time, and yeah, I sucked at it. But when Rock Band came out, and you telling me give me the microphone? Oh, it's on and popping. G1 singing his songs. That's right. You goddamn right. But it got tired quick because once Rock Band came out, and then Rock Band 2, Guitar Hero did the world tour, and then Rock Band 3, and it kind of just fell off. But through all of that, Call of Duty kept going and going and going. And then, you know, for me, before Call of Duty, it was Medal of Honor back in the PS2 days.
Yep, Medal of Honor was my go-to game.
Yeah.
Battlefield, because Battlefield went, you know, before these games.
That's right, and that's my whole thing. Like Battlefield, I didn't even play Battlefield until later on. But like
the thing with Battlefield is that it used to be a PC exclusive.
That's it. Yeah.
You know, during the PS2 era, and then when PS3 and Xbox 360 came out, they were like, you know what, these consoles are strong enough where, you know, they're gonna have online play. So we're going to bring it to, you know, the consoles. And that's where we have, I think, with Battle 2, Battle 3 is when they started that.
Yeah, I hear you.
And
I mean,
you can keep going to what you're saying, though.
What happened was Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare came out and kind of just turned everybody's head around. And that was the genesis right there. Modern Warfare was the genesis. And that's when I got hooked. Like, oh, this shit right here is crazy. And then I went back World at War, Black Ops 1 and 2. I loved both games. I loved the Vietnam shit, so Black Ops 1 had me. But yeah, I mean, I think that it's hit a crux. They're going back now, right? They're going back to World War II because Battlefield went to World War I, right? And I bought that game.
Yeah, but the problem was that last year, I don't know if you guys remember, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, which they really experimented with. And when they showed the first trailer, it got one of the most negative video game trailers of all time. Like, it was like, millions of people watched it, and all of it was negative response. A lot of dislikes on the YouTube page. And ever since then, when it was the first Call of Duty to really just fail in terms of, making money for them, do you think it's because they changed too much of what Call of Duty was, or do you think people are getting tired of the formula?
Oh,
I think it's both.
It's the futuristic shit for sure. I mean, in my opinion, with this new Call of Duty World War II, it's a blatant cash grab. Battlefield 1 sold. Call of Duty did not. So they're going to be like, okay, well, Battlefield 1 did it. We've been to World War II with our franchise before. Let's go back. Let's make that money. It's a cash grab. Everyone's sick and tired of every Call of Duty being set in the future because Call of Duty lost what it was. And in my opinion, they lost what it was after Black Ops 2. I haven't played one since Black Ops 2. I'm not fucking interested. And it's the same with Assassin's Creed. I think the last Assassin's Creed game I played was Black Flag. After that, I was like, they lost their way, pumping it out every year like Call of Duty, milking the money machine. This last year we didn't get one, but a fucking movie was made, so we might as well have just got a fucking game.
That movie,
it's the same shit.
And the movie tanked. The movie sucked. Tanked.
The fucking movie tanked. Dude, I still haven't even seen it, but...
It's terrible. It's terrible.
But, yeah, I think, Call of Duty fans were just getting sick and tired of the same shit, and because Battlefield 1 made money... Let's go back to World War II and make that money. Let's capitalize on the success of our rival franchise.
It's hard, too, because, even though Battlefield 1 went back, World War I has never been done, to my knowledge, in a video game. And I'm not a PC gamer, so I couldn't say if it's ever been done on a PC game up until now. I've always been console. So I've always seen World War II and beyond. And my first experience was Medal of Honor. With a World War II shooter, and again, that blew me away because I'm like, holy shit, I'm playing Saving Private Ryan at home on my PlayStation 2. It's insane. Call of Duty Modern Warfare really, really changed the game, but like JR said, man, after Black Ops 2, it went to shit. It really did go to shit. I hate Black Ops 3. Like, I've never even finished that game. Advanced Warfare, I have, and I was digging it, but I didn't finish that one either. I need to go back to it. And I have Infinite Warfare, but I had to trade my little nephew because I've been on this Dead Rising kick, and he had Dead Rising 4, and I was playing 1, 2, 3, and I needed 4, so I was like, hey, dude, I'll lend you, Infinite Warfare if you lend me Dead Rising 4. And he was like, sure, Gucci, one, I'll give it to you. It's like, yes, thank you. So, yeah. That's where I stand on that. Although I want to play that Modern Warfare remastered. I really, because I love that game. Even though Part 2 is better, I love that game though.
No,
me personally, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Me personally, I liked Modern Warfare 1. I love the second one. The third, yeah. I'm boycotting the Modern Warfare remastered because of what they are doing with it. They're pumping out map packs that are 10 years old, charging you $5 extra than they originally were, and now are putting microtransactions in a 10-year-old game.
But
I'm boycotting it.
But that is if you play multiplayer. See, I don't care about that because I'm all in for the story and cheap achievements. I'm an achievement.
True, but it's definitely a cheap fucking move for a 10-year-old game.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree with that. They're milking it. That's what it is. Because everyone knows. They know that we all want that game and all the old classic Call of Duties to be remastered, remade, whatever. HD remake, whatever you want to call it. And when you charge so much, it's just, or pack it in with a game that sucks, it's just, we know we can see right through these companies. We know that they are looking for the money, but they want us to get the new game or the new shitty game that they came with, and it's just not right. It's not right. They have to give the fans a very good deal, because without us, they wouldn't have made the sequels and the sequels after it. So that's why I stand on that. They should have been a lot cheaper. It also, they never really had commercials for it either. The remake. They just talked about the new Call of Duty, but never talked about the remakes, and it's a shame.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
yeah.
I was just looking up this just now, 2 hours ago, that Battlefield 1, is getting consistent updates, and it's getting another big update in June.
Well, that's because
side story added to it and stuff. And that's the thing, is that Call of Duty doesn't get these updates. Doesn't treat the fans with something. Free updates or balance patches, all this stuff. So Call of Duty was going against Battlefield 1, but also a big game at the same time that was announced. It was Overwatch, which we all know is a phenomenon this past year. And that really, I feel like Call of Duty suffered from all these big franchises, battling out, and then Call of Duty just pushed into the dirt.
That's because Activision only gives a shit about fucking money.
I agree. And that's the thing, because EA, remember, EA got shitted on big time the last several years behind that whole supercharging for shit and microtransactioning for shit. And they were like, all right, we got beat up and the fans have spoken, so let's kind of dial it back. And this is one of the reasons why I'm looking forward to shit like Battlefront 2, and I own Battlefield 1, and I got it for the story mode. I thought this story would be more intensive. It's not. It's a much more multiplayer type of game, and I pray that Battlefront doesn't suffer from that. But I think EA knows now. They're like, all right, well, we're not going to drop this $160 game pre-order shit for all this DLC. It's going to be like a $60 game, and then the DLC will just come, whether you play it or not. And I appreciate that.
And hopefully, they actually, do go with that, not just say, well, single player, and then, it's $100 game with all this DLC that's expensive. Because throughout 2013 up to 2016, they've been awarded as the worst company in America. Not even just in video games, in America. And, executives come out and say, that's just, that's not true. It's not true. And I feel like since they're not firing people, they're not, switching bosses and stuff, the heads of EA has been the same all these years. They're not changing how they work with inside the heads, executives, and all that, and how every year they push out these games, because from what I've been seeing, it's kind of the same thing every year. But they still have hold on all these big games and popular titles, and that's what's making them survive. Otherwise, if they want to make something brand new, it's probably going to suffer. They gotta hold on to these franchises. Otherwise, EA's dead, and I feel like they really got to change their attitude. And the bosses, the heads, and all that, they just got to work it from the inside out, not just fixing the games. They got to fix how they work as a team.
Capcom did that. Capcom with Street Fighter V. I didn't buy Street Fighter V. It's more like from the jump, it was like more online, and they got a lot of flack for that. But they weren't charging any type of DLC, and I appreciated that. I'm like, that's what's up. Now, real quick, for instance, I spent $120 on Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront 1, and I spent $100 on Gears of War 4. And I just got like this crazy big update on Gears of War 4 today. That game is like a year old almost. And I'm like, okay, all right, here we go. It's $20 different, but this update was huge. I'm hoping for a time we can go back to when games were just the games. You get the game and the package that you buy for $60 in this point in time, and let it rock from there. I'm tired of DLC. I am.
And patches, too, because you ever heard of the day one patches? Has been becoming a very popular thing nowadays. Like, you can't just play the game, put it in the disc, and just play it. They got to fix the bugs. Sometimes it takes a month to fix it. It's ridiculous. A lot of these games are just so broken. Some are so buggy where they even delete your save files now. Like it's a shame when they try to rush it, especially for the holiday season. Because I'm betting when E3 is done, more than 60% of the games will be October release, November release, because they want to throw it in the holiday season, Black Friday. That's the target. They don't care if you have to rush the game. They will get it out there and then, fix it later on. And it's a shame that that's how video game market is these days.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right, so I am going to move on from games to consoles now. So the topic is the Gold PS4. It's a thing that was announced early, or should I say leaked, and now Sony came out and says, yes, we have a bundle. It's coming out next week. $250 for a Gold PS4, which is not bad. At Microsoft, of course, we all know that the Scorpio, they're going to talk about it more in E3, and we all know that it's a 4K console. But the question is, and a lot of people are still confused about this, is it a buffed up Xbox One or a totally new console altogether? And I want to talk about that with you guys and what you think about the Scorpio.
Okay, real quick. What the Gold PS4, is there any enhancements to it, or is just
Nope.
Just a Gold PS4?
It's just a skin, a Gold controller, and I think it comes with a free game. That's it.
And it's $250?
$250, and Europe is going to get the silver PS4. So it's going to be exclusive in Europe, a silver one, and America gets a gold one.
Well, fuck. I mean, I got my PS4, and I love my PS4, but for $250, I'm going to trade this son of a bitch in. Are you kidding me? Like, give me a gold one. I want to get a PS4. Oh, shit.
Now, here's the reason why. Remember the PlayStation 4 Pro? It came out last year, and I wanted to talk about this with the Scorpio because this is all about 4K.
Right.
The PS4 Pro has not been selling well at all. It's been out for almost a year. It's suffering every month. I've been looking at the figures for it. It's even selling worse than the Wii U, which is a failure. That's pretty sad.
Wow.
So, obviously, you have to bring down the price of the Pro, but what has to come down even more is the regular PS4. What do you guys think about 4K gaming, but also that the PS4 Pro, Sony really pushed it. They put a lot of money into this console, and it's just selling just as worse as the Vita, which is not good at all. And then, what is it? Will Scorpio fall under the same thing because, people don't care about 4K and all that stuff. Now, I want us to talk about 4K gaming and the future of these two consoles.
All right, so this past tax season, we, my fiance and I, got quite a bit of money, and we invested in a 4K TV, 49-inch LG, 120 hertz HDR 4K TV. Love it. Beautiful TV. Well, we had nothing that could play 4K content, and we sat and I was like, well, there's the PS4 Pro and the Xbox One S. I did some research on the PS4 Pro and found out that it did not even have a 4K Blu-ray drive, and it's not true 4K.
What?
Because if you don't have a 4K Blu-ray drive, you can't have 4K on a UHD disc. And
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? And with the Xbox One S, it has a 4K Blu-ray drive. It upscales games to 4K. It plays content at 4K. It's a 4K system. If a more powerful console, the PS4 Pro, and I love PlayStation. I got my PS4, spent $600 when it first came out. I love my PlayStation 4. But when a lesser, cheaper fucking console can outdo your 4K fucking next-gen console or console refresh, there's a serious fucking problem. I have a serious fucking problem with the PS4 Pro, and I will not invest in that. I will invest in a Project Scorpio because they are pushing the fact that fucking graphics card will do 4K. They're talking about specs in it. I can't even remember the specs. It's like certain teraflops of fucking performance, and they upped the RAM in it. It gave it a serious overhaul. I'm looking at that.
And the CPU is like 3 times more powerful than the Xbox Ones.
Yeah, and I'm looking at that. I'm like, and that's not even a next-gen console. That's a console refresh. They put more effort into that when they already technically have a 4K fucking console. They're making a more true 4K console that does better than the PS4 Pro. We got a serious fucking problem here, Sony. Like, what the fuck were you guys thinking?
Especially since Sony is really the people that really invented 4K when 4K was first announced, which is, it's sad because remember, the PS2, invented the DVD,
Yep.
got popular, CDs and all that stuff with the PlayStation 1. PS3 was all about the Blu-ray. Everyone got the PS3 because of Blu-ray.
Yep.
And, Sony wanted to do the same thing with 4K, that the PS4 would have been the great bridge to 4K gaming. Sadly, that has failed. The sales figures have showed it for the past year. And now the Scorpio, the hype is all around the Scorpio. And now the question is, as JR was talking about, is they've been putting so much effort into it. Is it now, at this point, a completely different console and not even just an Xbox One anymore? What do you guys think about that? Do you think it's really just its own thing now, and when the Scorpio comes out, we're just going to talk about the Scorpio and not Xbox One anymore? What do you guys think?
Oh, well.
No, it's an Xbox One for sure.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
It's just, we're not there yet. The consoles have to last at least 4 years, and we're not ready for this next gen.
Well, remember, PS4 came out in 2012. We passed the 4-year mark already with these consoles.
Yes and no. The consoles came out underpowered, very, very underpowered. When they were coming out, 4K graphics cards were being pumped out for fucking PCs. And these consoles couldn't even hit 1080p in certain games. I think Battlefield 4 runs at 900p on the PlayStation 4 and 720p on the Xbox One. They were already fucking way behind. It's a hell of a leap from the PS3 and Xbox 360, no doubt, but still lagging behind with PCs. With these new console refreshes, the Xbox One Scorpio, they're kind of just like, the 4K's a bonus. It's definitely a bonus. It's for those gamers that really want to they want that hardware, but don't want to invest in $1,000 fucking graphics card for their PC. I just don't think we're ready for the next gen because, in all reality, a lot of people are saying it, and I'm one of the ones that are kind of starting to agree, there's probably not going to be a next gen. It's not going to happen. We are at the point where the consoles are fucking PCs. What's going to end up happening is, a lot of people have been saying it, and it was a rumor for the Xbox Scorpio, are interchangeable parts. That's going to end up happening, one way or the fucking other. Sony's already fucking came out and said they have no plans for a PlayStation 5 right now. It's no. We're sticking with the PlayStation 4. We pumped out a PlayStation 4 Pro, and it's not fucking selling because, they should fucking know they fucked up on it by now. But we're not ready for it. And with the Project Scorpio, I think that's basically like, hey, there's nothing better than 4K right now. If we pump out a 4K console that does play games at native 4K at 60 frames per second, then what's the fucking point of going next gen? That's the fucking end console.
Yeah. Also, talking about comparing last gen to this gen, is that the sales for overall all the consoles, the PS4 is the number one most sold console in this generation, only hitting about maybe 51 million right now, while the PS3 in its end life cycle was almost 100 million. The Xbox One only sold 26 million at this point right now, which is very low compared to the 360, 85 million. This generation is lagging really behind compared to last gen, and maybe another year or two until these consoles start dying out. But we're really the video game market is really trailing behind. GameStop has been coming out and saying that the shares has been suffering because no one's buying games in the discs anymore in physical format. Now, do you think people are going to PCs, or do you think people are just not carrying them as consoles as much? Because the sales has been really dwindling the past few years on this generation. What do you guys think?
I don't think they're going PC. I'm gonna tell you this right now. As a console head myself, I I can see where GameStop is losing, and the numbers you just ran off is kind of surprising. I don't follow it like that, but I'm like, wow, really? You got to remember, every generation comes a console, and I'm going to exclude the PC side from this because, you know, they've been doing wonders since the 90s. But as a console gamer myself, every generation comes a console. And we'll go back to the 80s where it was Nintendo, and then the late 80s we had the Sega Master System. Then in the 90s we had Super Nintendo and then the Sega Genesis. And those were console wars, you know? Then in the mid 90s we had the PlayStation pop up, and then everything just started to take off from there, right? Then it became hit or miss because then you had like your Nintendo 64, your Sega Saturns,
the Sega Saturn,
the GameCubes, the Dreamcast, which is still one of the greatest consoles of all time. And just people didn't get behind it, but the Dreamcast was still one of the greatest consoles of all times. It had some of the greatest games of all times: Resident Evil Code Veronica, Sword of the Berserk, Slave Zero, and oh yes, Godzilla Generations. But I'm not talking about the games. I'm talking about the consoles. In this day and age, there have been two prominent consoles to come out in the past 20 years. The PlayStation 2 and the Xbox 360. Bar none. And and then give props to where props is due. The Wii, the first Wii, changed the game. But it changed the game in the fact that people of all ages can play it. Whereas hardcore gamers went to the PlayStation 2 or the Xbox 360, right? The PS3 came out. The 360 is a better system overall than the PS3. I love the PS3. I love Sony and the PlayStation, but I only love them for exclusives. If I'm going to play a game that's multi-platform, multi-console, I'm going to play it on the Xbox. I'm playing it on a Microsoft system. They just did more. They gave me more off the bat in terms of partying up with friends. There was a shit ton of things they did right, in my personal opinion. But in this,
I agree with that. And remember this: the PS3, if they started out late, because remember when that console first appeared, it was a big fat VCR looking console.
Yep.
The memory was really shitty on it. It was one of the most expensive consoles. I think it was like $600 when that first came out.
Yeah.
And, the games didn't really pop out until the third year in. The 360's already been popping these games since the beginning.
Yeah.
It's been a solid game since the beginning to the end of it. And the PS3 kind of started midway to the end, and then it started catching up.
I mean, think about it. The PlayStation 2 is still like one of the longest running consoles of all time. Like the longest lifespan. The 360 kind of, I don't know if it caught up or not, so I'm not going to even say it did, because I don't know my facts, but I do know that the PS2, its lifespan was ridiculous. But where we are at today, with the PS4 and the Xbox One, and the PS4 Pro, and the Scorpio supposedly coming out in November. Now, I love the Scorpio only because I'm born in November, and I'm a Scorpio myself. I don't have a 4K TV. I have not gone and invested in one yet. And in all honesty, I don't even care about 4K gaming. I watch my movies on that shit. So I'm okay with the TV I have now, running at 240 hertz, 3D, 1080p, the whole fucking 9 yard. Everything is smooth and seamless. And it works for my game systems. But today, I don't think we need another generation. I think we're fine where we're at right now. I honestly do believe we are fine where we're at. What could you possibly do outside of bringing in, and making your system a straight up PC? A straight up, now we're just rocking computers. If that's what I wanted, I'll go to Best Buy or wherever I need to go and say, hey, listen, Geek Squad, I need a CPU. I need a computer system that's going to play these games. I don't care. My consoles already have that. Stay where you're at. All I'm asking for is really good games. That's it.
And going with that, before we go to the next topic really quick, do you think that, because the general public looks at a TV, they go to Best Buy, they have the TVs on the walls. When it comes to 4K versus 1080p, I don't think personally for me, and you guys can disagree or agree with me, is that, they see the TV and they look at it, what's the difference between 4K and 1080p? They don't see any difference. Unless you're like 2 inches from the screen, difference. Unless you're a very hardcore gamer, they can really tell like the shadows and stuff, and the colors are deeper in 4K. But overall, for how much of it a 4K TV is, and investing in a console or PC that can do 4K, at least right now, even though 4K has been out for a few years, I still don't think it's worth at all the jump for the casual audience to go for it.
Well, I'll say this. I have not been to Best Buy in a while, so I haven't looked at a 4K TV, but I will say this. I'm not a spec guy. I have no idea what the fuck I'm looking at. When I went to get a 40-inch TV that looked good, 1080p was that was the rage. So I was like, okay, I need a TV, a big TV that's 1080p. I found one, a Sony 1080p TV. I was like, all right, this is years ago, right? This is years ago. I said, perfect. Got this 1080p Sony, bought it. Then I went to Best Buy, and I go in their TV room, and I'm watching The Dark Knight on Blu-ray, right? Because I bought this 1080p for my PlayStation 3 to play the Blu-rays. And it was Sony, mind you, right? So I was like, yeah, Sony is Sony. It all matches up and make everything look good. I'm in the fucking Best Buy TV room. Like, they had a legit room. Sound system set up. It was gorgeous. And I'm watching The Dark Knight, and I'm watching the scene where the Batmobile, or whatever the fuck they called it in that movie, crashes into the wall. And then all of a sudden, the Bat Pod comes out. And I'm watching this, and I'm looking at this, and the frame rate, I was like, oh my God, this looks like it's right there in the next room. It doesn't look like it's on the television. It doesn't look like it's a fucking movie. It looks like it's in the next room. And my TV doesn't do this. So that's when I was like, okay, the 1080p thing doesn't mean anything. It's all about the hertz. And what I got was like a 60 hertz TV. I needed a better TV as far as hertz go. So I went and bought a 240 hertz television, Samsung. And yes, when I popped The Dark Knight into that television, oh, son of a bitch, that motherfucking Batmobile and Batpod, I took a shit in my pants. I said, it's going to hit me. I've seen that movie 20 times already. Oh, no, I was scared. But I'm just saying. So when it comes to like 4K, and I haven't seen the difference. I've spoken to people who say, you know what, the difference is there. It's real. But personally, I don't know yet. I know I want a 4K television, and eventually I want a system to play 4K. I don't want to have to buy a 4K Blu-ray player. I want a system to do that for me. And from what I'm hearing so far in this conversation, if the PS4 Pro ain't doing it, then the Scorpio might be where I need to go. So that's all I'm saying.
No, that's really good what you said, because I feel like what you said, the general audience would agree with you on that. Because the hertz, there's two things that we're going to E3, and they talked about it a bit last year, and it's going to be one of the biggest topics is 4K and resolution and hertz, response time, all that. That's becoming a really big thing because now graphics are not really there's not much of a difference between, say, PS3 and PS4 in terms of graphics compared to, say, PS1 and PS2. Those graphics, we knew, there was a big change. Now graphics are slowly, becoming the same. So now it's all about resolutions, 3D, hertz, all that, refresh rates. And I feel like it's getting to the point where people are getting confused on what is hertz and resolutions, and people are not understanding what the difference between these terms are. But, it's going to be becoming a big topic, and it's going to be one of the main things talked about almost in every conference. It's going to be 4K, hertz, all that. So I feel like that is really important. JR, what do you think about that?
Well, yeah, definitely so. And to chime in with the difference between 1080p and 4K, so I have a 50-inch 1080p, 120 hertz Vizio TV. We had it for a year before we upgraded to the 4K. And I can tell you right now, I compared 2014 Godzilla on both TVs. Watched it on the 1080p and then hooked up the 4K. I can tell you right now, 120 hertz on a 4K TV looks a hell of a lot fucking better than 120 hertz on a 1080p TV. And it's noticeably different with gaming too. I've noticed on my Xbox One S. Because it does upscale games to 4K.
Yeah.
It is upscaled, it's not native, but there is a whole hell of a fucking big difference. And it's definitely something that, you know, and the thing is that people are settling for 1080p. Because for people, 1080p is good enough. What's the point of getting 4K when I've got something that's good enough?
And much cheaper.
Yeah, and a lot cheaper, too. But we picked up our 4K TV for the same price as the 1080p we picked up last year. It was the same price. And I was really surprised because for the same fucking price, a year later for a 4K TV, it was a huge fucking leap in visuals. A huge fucking leap. We don't own 4K Blu-rays. But we watched Miss Peregrine some shit. Was the first movie we watched in 4K on the Xbox One S because it has that 4K Blu-ray drive. And holy fuck, dude. Like, holy hell, that looked fucking good. And I'm excited for Kong coming out next month. Oh, 4K. Jesus Christ, that's going to look amazing.
4K, $89,000.
No, honestly, we paid... I think it was $500 for a 49-inch 4K TV, and it's fucking beautiful.
No, I'm talking
and
about.
And it's an LG.
I'm talking about Kong, the fucking 4K, the disc itself. That shit is $45. I'm not gonna pay that much, but
no, I found it for $30. I think it's $35 where we're getting it.
Well, you lucky. Shit.
Well, if you go day one to Walmart, you get the best deals on new release movies.
Fact.
So fuck it.
Fact. I spent $20 on Rogue One, but I'm sorry. I'm derailing this. My bad, Alex.
No. It's perfectly fine because another thing with confusions with resolutions is because these companies want to push TVs because the video games and the TVs, they have to coexist with each other, right? As TVs evolve, video games have to evolve, and the thing is that as the Scorpio is coming out, here comes Sony, here comes other companies saying, well, there's a 2K TV, there's an 8K TV, there's the 1440p TVs. So there's so many different resolutions now that, back in the day, 1080p, we had that, for a decade, 15 years almost?
Yeah.
It's been consistent, 720p or 1080p. Very consistent. Now we're getting stuff as 1440p, 2K, 4K, 8K. 4K seems to be the middle ground here, but now they really want to push 8K. And that's going to come out in the next year or two. And I feel like they're pushing resolutions too much too quickly and not having a set standard like 1080p is the standard now. Will 4K be the standard, or are they going to try and make 8K the standard? And I feel like for consoles, they're going to be shuffled around, and they're going to be laughed at in a year, saying, it's too weak because it's now 8K, which is the standard. It's playing 4K. And I feel like that may hurt the consoles down the road, even if you could change the parts, because the audience is getting confused with all these numbers, all these resolutions.
I just want to say something real quick. I mean, honestly, and this is what kind of makes me mad with not only the TV manufacturers, but the gaming console manufacturers themselves. We are human beings. We are not like peacock lobsters. We can't see in these 30 billion dimensions, okay? All of this 4, 8, 12, 17, 90,000 K shit. Honestly, what the fuck are we gonna see? But what bothers me, this is for me the biggest thing, and this is why I kind of respect Nintendo. Even though I haven't gotten a Switch and I don't play my Wii U at all, but this is why I respect Nintendo. If you're gonna make a video game console, you're making video games, and what is the most important part of a video game? Not the visuals, the fucking gameplay. The game, the story, the immersiveness. I don't need to be walking in real life and be like, oh God, maybe that would be cool eventually. But right now, Like I said, I'm playing Dead Rising. Like, I just finished Dead Rising 2. How long has that game been out? 8 years? Come on, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not about what I'm visualizing or, there's only so much you could put into our eyes and for our brains to process. It's all a gimmick. And for me personally, it needs to stop. And that's one of the reasons why I give Nintendo props. Because Nintendo's like, yeah, nah, fuck that. We're not up to that. We're just giving you good games. So, that I'm sorry, I just had to throw that in there.
No, it's good because you brought up the last topic of tonight, and that is the Nintendo Switch. We all know, and even if you're not a Nintendo fan, there's been a phenomenon since March, since it came out. It's been sold out since, and if anyone's riding into E3 the highest right now, it's Nintendo. Their console, no one can still find it. It has sold almost 4 million systems already in 2-3 months. It's already been outpacing the Wii's first 3 to 4 months, which is, shocking to me. And I want you guys to talk about, because Nintendo is not 4K. They're 1080p when, it's a handheld / console. It's a little device that you can put in a dock. You see it on your TV, and it's 1080p. You take it out, it becomes like a DS. It's a handheld. It's in 720p. They're underpowered, but they're still in HD. The games look great. It does have games compared to the Wii U's, failing, which is it's a shame. But, it's kind of like with GameCube, they failed, and then they made the Wii, and it became
GameCube never failed. I will stick to my guns. The GameCube is Nintendo's best console since the Super Nintendo. You guys better stop your shit. Oh, God, you better stop your shit. I'm crying. Oh, you bastards. I love the GameCube.
GameCube was amazing, I have to say.
I love it. My favorite game of all time is on the GameCube, so I'm just saying, of all time.
What game is that?
Star Wars Rogue Squadron 2 Rogue Leader is the greatest game ever fucking made, ever, because you can fucking play Endor. Like, dude, when you don't understand, when I'm growing up and I'm watching Return of the Jedi, and then it's a trap, and then all the TIE fighters come at you, boom, 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 boom. It's like, oh my God, the rebels are in trouble. And that was in the 80s. And then in, like, the early 2000s, I got to play that. Like, I was in the TIE fighter, and I was in the X-Wing, and I had to maneuver around those TIE fighters. The greatest thing that ever happened to me. So, yes, that is the greatest game of all time, because that's one of the greatest scenes and moments of my lifetime. Man, listen, and they had Castlevania, and they had fucking, not Ocarina of Time. They had
Resident Evil 4.
Resident Evil 4, the Wind Waker, Legend of Zelda. Come on, man. Give the props where props is due, goddamn, the GameCube.
No, exactly. No,
God.
I give props because I love the GameCube. I have a big collection of GameCube. But right now, this is not about GameCube. It's about the Switch. And I want you guys to, because I know the hype for it is right now. Now, do you think if Nintendo keeps it up with consistent games, that it's been for the past few months, every month has been a consistent big title game that's been coming out for the Switch, and it has announced recently for the winter, there's going to be an online service, so you got to pay like Xbox and like Sony, but it's only $20 a year, not $60 a year. And every month, you get a retro game for free, and say, the classic NES Dr. Mario or Super Mario Bros. 3, they're going to have online multiplayer added to that game for free. So now the question is here is, what do you guys think about the Switch first? Do you think it's a really cool idea? And what do you guys think of the future of Nintendo? Because clearly they're going a much different route than the other consoles are. And remember, this is a handheld and a console put together. So what do you guys think about it overall? Because, we can't not talk about the phenomenon that is the Switch currently.
All right, so I'm just going to say it. I wanted to say it earlier, but I forgot, and it does involve the Switch, is the reason why the Switch is selling so well and why other consoles aren't doing so well, and it's not just Switch, it's mobility. People are playing games on their smartphones now, a lot more than consoles. What did the Switch do? They made a fucking console portable. That's why it's selling so well. It appealed to the mobile market in a way that no other console has been able to do or will do. I mean, you could argue, the PlayStation Vita, that's not fucking supported anymore.
Right.
They don't support that goddamn thing. The Switch did it, and there's AAA games going to... I think they announced Skyrim is going to be...
Skyrim. There's a Pokemon game that was announced today. It's a fighting Street Fighter Pokemon game.
Stop.
Switch.
Stop. Don't tell me that shit. Don't tell me that.
No, it's called Pokken Tournament. It had on the Wii U. It was in arcades in Japan, but didn't sell well because it was on the Wii U. But it's going to have online. It's going to be the people, I think it was Konami that's making it or something, but it looks sick. You know, it's a rated T Pokemon game. I mean, that's something we've never seen before. And it's a fighting game. Just straight out beat each other until, the life bar is gone. Straight up, and it's coming out this September. So not just they announced it today, but it's coming out in like 3 months. So this game's rolling out for it. Skyrim was announced for it. A lot of big AAA games, like JR saying, it's coming out for it.
And that's the thing is, I love Skyrim. I've had it for the 360, the PS4, and the Xbox One. I fucking love Skyrim. If I can play Skyrim on a portable device, you bet your ass I'm going to play Skyrim on a portable goddamn device. And that's what the Switch is doing. And it was Richard of Review Tech USA, a YouTuber I really like. He said, if Overwatch made it to the Switch, the sales for the Switch would probably fucking triple because of how popular Overwatch is. And I bet you they can get Overwatch to work for the Switch. And it's going to fucking happen. And the Switch is going to sell a whole hell of a lot more because people are always on the move nowadays. And that portable system fills that void that the mobile market couldn't do, is get AAA games to work. And that's what I believe, though. That's what I believe why the Switch is selling so well. That, and plus, Nintendo kind of understocks. They did it with the NES Classic. They purposely understocked it so people would fucking kill each other for one.
Yes.
I kind of think maybe they're doing that with the Switch because I think I was at Toys R Us the other day and they're like, oh, we're sold out. I'm like, I just got an email the other day that you guys had like fucking 40 of them. You're telling me 40 fucking Switches got sold out in a matter of a few days?
Well, let me stop you there really quick because there was an article that came out this week about that. Apple is actually stopping Nintendo Switches in factories because the new, I think it's the iPhone 8 or something, it has similar parts to the Nintendo Switch. They have to share a factory. I don't know if it's for the CPU or something with it. So Nintendo wants to produce like double, triple the amount that they're producing right now. But Apple's actually stopped them because they were making the parts beforehand before the Switch ever came out. So in the factory, the iPhone is getting 2/3 of the factory compared to the Switch, and that's why Nintendo has been delaying with how many they can ship worldwide. Because right now they're shipping through airplanes now, when they used to be on boats to get here, so it would take longer to come to the U.S. But Nintendo's trying to really push how many Switches can get here, but because of Apple, they can't double or triple the resources right now.
And see, I didn't know that. I thought Nintendo were just assholes. Personally, I'm not a huge Nintendo fanboy. I had a Wii for Godzilla Unleashed and Wii Sports, and that was, I think I had it for like a year back in 2011, and then they said something about the fucking Wii U. I don't know. I didn't even fucking care. And honestly, it's just me. I don't care to get a Switch. I don't care about it. I was saying, play Skyrim on the go. Yeah, but, Elder Scrolls 6 could be fucking announced this weekend, and I'll be wanting to play that, and that ain't gonna run on the Switch. Well, it could. You dumbed it down quite a bit. But regardless, I'm happy that the Switch is selling well because Nintendo hasn't been doing good, and, it's always been Sony, Microsoft. Well, now Nintendo's a fucking competitor again. That's what we needed.
Well, you also got to remember, Nintendo was a competitor and a huge because it was the #1 selling console when the Wii came out. And granted, we're going back a couple years, maybe 10, but that console did buku bank. That shit was insanity.
They beat the PS2 records. The PS2 and the Wii are the most sold consoles of all time. So that says a lot when you have those two consoles so high up there and no other consoles came even near it.
And that's the thing. I think that's where Nintendo faltered after the Wii. It faltered when, you listen, I remember when the Wii was called the Revolution. I loved that name. I don't consider myself a hardcore gamer because, like I said, I can't get into that multi-gameplay shit. Y'all kill me. But I consider myself a gamer, like in that aspect, I'm a hardcore gamer. I'll play whatever comes out where I can have an adventure and do the damn thing. The Wii did not cater to me. Only because, not the name of it, but it was like, no, we're gonna broaden our horizons and cater to everybody, and that is so respected. In my personal opinion, I fucking love that. The Wii U, on the other hand, man, I don't know, man. That the Wii U was that might have been a bad thing. So with the Switch, for me personally, now I'm looking at this on the other side. I'm not rushing out to buy the Switch. They put out a Street Fighter game that I was just like, but it's just Street Fighter Turbo. Come on, man. Are you serious? I can look up my Genesis and play Street Fighter Turbo. I can look up my Super Nintendo and play Street Fighter Turbo. Why do I need to play Street Fighter Turbo here? When something like Xbox and Sony, they're putting out Street Fighter Third Strike as a DLC for $5. I'd rather play that than pay $20 for Street Fighter Turbo, And don't get me wrong, I love Street Fighter. I got a Hadouken tattoo to my arm. I'm just saying. But I do respect the Switch. I do respect Nintendo. I'll never say Nintendo is out of the game until they say we're done. Because Nintendo is that motherfucking, that is that company.
They're the underdog. And I feel like going with that Street Fighter, Capcom came out recently, I think 2 weeks ago, and they said, we're putting Street Fighter 2. It depends how well it sells. Because they want to see if there's a market for it, right? For any, fighting games for that. Because, Capcom's all about the fighting games, Mega Man, etc. If the fan base is there, if it sells well, which it's selling well because it's on the top 10 most bought games of the past 2 weeks, which is pretty good, in Europe and in America. They say they're going to start porting Street Fighter V in the big modern games. They just want to port these, older games to see if the fan base is there. If it is there, expect Street Fighter V. Expect Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite on the go on the Switch. And that, to me, is exciting. And that's why I hope, because, I want to look at it as, if these games, these older games like Skyrim and stuff do well, these companies are trying to see, test the waters. If it does well, expect the big games to come out, because they did say that the Switch is one of the easiest system support games too. You know why? Because it has a PC graphics card. It has an NVIDIA graphics card in it, which is very easy to port any games on it. They could port a game within 3 months very easily on it. So that's what I'm excited for, and I hope it does well, because if it does well, I would love to see a future Godzilla game on the go. And then they said, virtual console game. I want Godzilla Destroy All Monsters Melee on the go. The Super Godzilla, the NES Godzilla, all those games on the go. I would love that, honestly. I don't have to be stuck at home. I could play it on the train. I could play it in school. I could play wherever. That'd be great. That's what I like about the idea of a console on the go.
See, and I'm kind of indifferent to that, because I'm like, this is my beef with Nintendo. And this, I love Nintendo to death, because Nintendo has been there for me, not at the beginning of my video game life, because that was in television and Atari, but Nintendo was the first one to be like, whoa. And that was Super Mario, and, everything took off after that. Then there was a Genesis after that, so to speak. But what Nintendo, for me, does wrong is, like, they try to live in this nostalgia bubble. I would rather them, instead of dropping Street Fighter 2, drop Street Fighter 5. And say, yeah, no, listen, it's not just Sony, it's me and Sony. And Microsoft
Isn't
don't
that
get it.
kind of Capcom's fault then?
Well, yeah, but there should be negotiations. And that's my thing, you know what I mean? Like, if they were to negotiate. For me, Nintendo is just the games they put out. And again, I take none of it, like Zelda, for instance. The Legend of Zelda. Everybody loves it, and that's what people are rushing to buy the system for. But where the fuck is Metroid? Oh, it's coming. No. But it wasn't on the Wii U. And I think on the Wii it was a remake of what was on the GameCube. So it's kind of like
no, the Wii had a sequel to Metroid Prime 3, and then Other M. Other M is a very controversial Metro game because that was the first game that Samus talked in it, and they made her like scared and actually scared and not like this badass bounty hunter. And ever since that game, there has not been a Metro game since. And I feel like Nintendo's waiting on it because that's really important. If you want to talk about dead franchises like F-Zero, Earthbound, or Metroid, is because Other M, when they want to do something new, it flopped, it failed hard because Nintendo gave the franchise to a third party. That game was made not by Nintendo but someone else, and it flopped, and it received negative reviews on it. So I think Nintendo's scared on reviving Metroid, reviving all these other consoles. But I feel like for the Switch, if they go back to the original Metroid Prime or a 2D Metroid, that would be really sweet.
I'm just looking for something Nintendo is going to do that's not Mario Kart or Smash Brothers and not, Zelda or some new Mario World. Like, they used to be innovative, and now it's kind of more than... This is just my personal opinion. And again, I love Nintendo, but I'm just like... You see the same stuff. There's not a lot of variety. The Wii U started with Zombie U, and I thought that was great. I was like, oh, they're switching the game up. But at the end of the day, that console kind of fell by the wayside, too. It definitely got swallowed by the One and PS4. And it's upsetting.
Oh, yeah, and the thing is that the Wii U came out a year before those two consoles. It had a whole year to have its feet, but the thing is that the Wii U, the name sucked, the advertisements sucked on it, the tablet controller was big and clunky, and you couldn't really bring it outside your room. People thought it was a handheld, it's not. And I think that's where the Switch is. It's supposed to be, the Switch is what the Wii U should have been. And I feel like the Wii U was just a misstep, a missed opportunity. It was clunky, it was just... The whole thing was just bad from the beginning. And I feel like this is a fresh start because, one thing that Nintendo's always been good at is handhelds. The 3DS, the DS, the Game Boy Advance, all of those handhelds have sold very well. The 3DS is still living, but it's going to die soon. And then now we're just going to be left with one thing, and that's a Switch. No handheld and a console side by side. It's going to be one thing to concentrate on. I feel like Nintendo's separate its company. Half the team for 3DS, half the team for Wii U. And if you put all those games into one console, one thing, I think it's going to be phenomenal. All those RPGs that's been on the 3DS, Pokemon, all these things that were on the handhelds could be on just the Switch now. And I feel like that could be a lot of games for a lot of people. And that's what I'm excited for. Mm. So now, guys, now that that's over, we are down to the last topic. And it is, I want to ask all of you, unannounced games, what franchise do you think we'll see, or it's going to be a shocking news, like, say, Halo 6? Do you think we're going to get that? What game do you want to see announced, or what do you think from hearing rumors and all that stuff? What game do you really think that Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo is going to come out and be like, bam, unannounced surprise? What do you guys think that would be?
Well, I would pray to my God that Silent Hill would get revived, but I know that's not fucking happening. Son of a bitch. Oh, dude, I fucking wish, man. Oh, what I would do.
You and me both. I was so excited for that, and then that sadly turned into Resident Evil 7.
Come on, man, stop the hate.
But my personal favorite, I've said it a few times, is I'm ready for the next chapter in Elder Scrolls. I want Elder Scrolls 2 Daggerfall mixed with Skyrim. Make a very, very deep Elder Scrolls game like you did back in Daggerfall. And, fuck, if there was a way to even make Daggerfall with the Skyrim engine, But that's one of my hopes is in Elder Scrolls 6. Just hint it. Give me a little taste. A little trickle of milk. I'm tired of Elder Scrolls Online. I don't give a fuck more when it was released today. People are like, it's garbage. I want an actual fucking Elder Scrolls game. It's been since 2011. all we got was special edition. Yeah, I modded the shit out of it on the fucking Xbox One, dude. If I showed you the nasty shit that I have on there. But yeah, the next Elder Scrolls, it's time. It's really fucking time. Fallout 4 is done. No one gives a shit about it. Let's move on.
Oh, I like that. I'm gonna jump real quick before I say what I would love to see. Things that I'm excited for. I want to just throw out there. I'm excited for God of War this E3. I want to see some of that. I'm excited for Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm super stoked for that. Because that game I played later on in life, and I was like, what the fuck is wrong with me? That game was great. And I really do wish that I was, I really do wish I bought that game when everybody else did, when all of my people did, where I could have got up in a posse and we would have called it the G Show. And I didn't. I bought that game almost a decade later, and I'm okay with that. It's all right. It's all right. But yeah, as far as things I want to see, Halo 6, because I think it's time.
And with that, they said once Halo 6 will come out, they're going to port it to the PC at the same time. The first real Halo on the computer, which is, I think, is going to be either hurt the Xbox or help them. I don't know which way that's going to go. But that's big news.
Well, I don't think it will hurt them because I think a lot of... Okay, so this is just me speculating again. I think a lot of the majority of gamers still get consoles. And I say that coming from, a neighborhood where, yeah, you talk about PC, you talking about $1,000 plus. Nah, man, listen, hey, but if you could put away $200 a paycheck for like 3-4 months, I'll get you the Xbox, whatever the fuck it is, for Christmas. And that's why I think consoles succeed, because they always drop in the holiday season. So you know it's coming. Your kids know it's coming. They say, hey, Mom, Dad, I want this. Okay, and they can swing it. But with PC, and again, I'm not knocking any of the PC gamers because I think it's a phenomenal thing. I just don't get it. I don't understand any of it. I don't know how to put one together. So I can't, this is not me downplaying it because I don't understand. I don't get it. The console's already put together. So if it's a $600 price tag and they drop in June saying, yeah, this new one coming out in November 25th, just in time for Black Friday, you're doing your Christmas thing, it's going to be $600. And that's in June. Well, now I know from June to, Black Friday, each check I can put X amount of money away, get the system, and throw it down under the Christmas tree. With a PC, it's like, wait, what the fuck do I need? What graphic card? What CPU? What the fuck? It's a terabyte. What the? Nah, man, I can't deal with that shit. No, I can't deal with that shit.
Well, can I say something related to that? 'Cause this is going to appear in E3. It happened last year, and it's actually been selling well. Dell it's called the Alienware Alpha. It's a console machine that's the size of the Wii. $350. Comes with a wireless Xbox 360 controller. And all you gotta do is put it to your TV. It's a little console. You boot it up, and you can choose either between, I want to pick Windows 10 or a OS that looks very similar to PlayStation's OS. It's a few boxes that says settings, game, Blu-ray, whatever it is. Very simple. So use your controller, no keyboard, no mouse. You put it on, you can play any Steam game, anything you downloaded. And I feel like these companies are making these compact, already made PCs very cheap to combat consoles. And I think that's going to be important. They're going to announce more in E3. And I've been seeing them appearing in GameStops where I live now. And I feel like if PCs start going that route, then maybe people will start, thinking about, should I get that? Should I get that?
Well, the biggest problem with the Steam machines, like the Alienware Alpha, is they're still PCs. You have to swap parts. I think for the Alienware Alpha, you can swap different Intel processors and RAM, but you can't touch the graphics cards or the CPU. There's certain things in it you can't replace. So if the graphics card gets outdated in the Steam machine or the Alienware Alpha, you gotta go buy a fucking updated one. That's how they get you with
to
those.
combat that, they did announce this week. It's called an external graphics amplifier. It's a box that you get. It's very simple. So all you gotta do is you put any graphics card, the highest end graphics card, you put in there, and the thing can become 4K compatible or anything. We don't have to open the console. You don't have to swap anything. All you do is plug this box in, put any graphics card in it. Toolless. It's a toolless device. So you gotta do is open it like a little shelf, and then put it in there, and that's it. And I feel like that's really pushing it.
Still spendy though, because remember, if you really want to fucking push it, you're like, all right, I want a Titan X. That's $1,000. That's $1,000 graphics card. So
it is. But compare in terms of I'm trying to compare in terms of what console graphics cards they have right now. It's on par with graphics cards around $200, $300, etc. I'm just saying it's interesting because PC manufacturers are really trying to push, what used to be big towers to console-like sizes.
Don't get me wrong, dude. I actually got ripped off by Amazon. I had bought an Alienware Alpha, one of the first ones. It had a dual-core processor with 4 gigabytes of DDR3 memory, 500 gig hard drive. I got ripped off. It never showed up. They gave me my fucking money back. But I was gonna get it. But I looked into the problems that specific one that I got was having, and I'm so thankful it didn't show up because there's some really deep problems with those first ones that came out. And after that, I was like, fuck it. I'm not going to deal with it. I have a PlayStation 4. And one day I'll get an Xbox. And I ended up getting an Xbox One.
Excuse me, Shinny. Can I butt in here for a second? Excuse me. Whatever happened to the days where you could just press power on your console and the game would come on? Really? Do you remember the days where you used to blow into the cartridge?
Oh God, G1, I know you're old and you can't remember back in the day, but this is the more modern day, and so
that's the problem with those Steam machines right there.
That's it.
Perfect.
Thank you, because that's my whole point. It's like, what the fuck are we talking about? Get that shit out of here with that bullshit.
That's why consoles sell better than those fucking Steam machines. It's because you have to upgrade Steam machines. A console, you gotta fucking upgrade it.
Yeah.
In 8 years, when the next one comes out, fucking buy the next one.
And that's my point. The shelf life is higher on a console than it is in a fucking PC unit. And that's why I don't PC game. And the fact is, PC gaming for me personally has always been about multiplayer. And again, I said it before, I suck at this shit. I suck. So fuck y'all. You're gonna kill me. Why am I gonna spend $3,000 to get killed every fucking time I play the game? Nah, honey. I just wanna break bricks and get mushrooms that grow big and throw fireballs with magic flowers. Get out of here with that shit.
You just want all the mushrooms.
Yeah, damn right I do. Oh no, listen.
What are you, Mario? But regardless. To wrap this up, do you guys have any other speculations? Because I know G1 you were talking about. I don't know if you.
Oh, I got one more.
All right, go ahead. The floor is all yours, buddy.
This is the one I've been waiting for a very, very long time. The one I've been waiting for. Left 4 Dead 3.
Yes.
Give me that goddamn shit, Valve. Yes. Stop the bullshitting. Let's go. Get it out. Surprise the fuck out of me the way you did with Left 4 Dead 2, I'm sorry. Because I didn't see that coming. And I was like a year later, I was like, what? And I'll tell you something. I didn't want to play Left 4 Dead. I was like, this shit looks stupid. I don't want it. My brother bought it for me for Christmas. I didn't want to even fucking open it. I opened it. I played it. I said, oh my God. Second favorite game of all time right there. I was like, oh shit. Then the next year, E3, they dropped the Left 4 Dead 2 trailer and was surprised. And this is the problem. I wanted to just throw this out there to you, G73, G62, because I'm over here like, yo, Alex, why the fuck? It seems like all of these games that are coming out in the next year or two, they're getting these fucking trailers before E3. This is not the movie business, man. Don't make it like the movie business because you make me not want to watch E3 because you're shooting your load already. I could just go on YouTube, watch the trailers, and that's that.
You know why? There's two things. Hollywood.
Yeah, I know.
Voice actors, and you have to blame Call of Duty for this because a few years ago, do you remember the awesome commercials with live action, like, people in these CGI, like, environments, right? You know, they'll come out as soldiers and start shooting around, but it's famous actors. I remember Tom Cruise did one of the first Call of Duty commercials. So, you know, when you have all these famous voice actors now coming out instead of, like, indie voice actors, and you have famous people doing commercials for it, you know, they have contracts with these companies and say, you know, I'll do it if you just, you know, show it before E3 so people can watch the real trailer, not the teaser, but they know that, say, oh, wow, Tom Cruise is in this commercial, or whoever's in this commercial, but they know beforehand on TV early, wow, E3 is coming, this famous guy is talking about it, let's go watch E3. And sadly, you know, because of how expensive these games are becoming, especially these AAA games, you know, Hollywood is getting invested in it, and that is why you're seeing a lot of things either leaked, or there's teasers, or commercials, or announcements before E3, and I do miss the old days when they would just boom, drop a huge announcement right during their live instead of like, oh, wow, 10 o'clock at night, 2 days before E3, oh, there's a game announced.
No, I'm just saying.
You mean like Bethesda? They don't fucking drop teasers before E3. Remember Fallout 4? Remember Doom and Prey? We had no fucking idea till E3 showed up, dude.
That's my point. It's like this year, it seems like I've gotten all the AAA games already. You have Far Cry 5. You had, like, all this shit drop already. And it's like, but E3 is 2 weeks away. Why the fuck are you doing this now? It made no goddamn sense to me. It's like, how are you trying to get ahead of the curve when the curve is everybody that's supposed to be in Japan, you idiot? It doesn't make no sense. It's stupid.
I even remembered special editions, you know, example, like the gold edition PS4 and E3, like, all of a sudden, guys, you can go on Amazon right now and pre-order the gold PS4, but no, they talk it 2 weeks in advance.
That's a great point, though. But that's a great point because the last 2 E3s, if I'm not mistaken, was focused on the games, not the consoles. The consoles, all right, the consoles are what the consoles are, but let's focus on, that's what PlayStation did well. That's why they won E3 the past 2 years. Now, if we'll focus on the game. I mean, I remember last year, what was that, because I got it and I still haven't finished it, and I bought it and I stopped playing it like 3 months ago. Homegirl, she was shooting robot dinosaurs. Boop, boop, boop. That's
Horizon Zero Dawn.
That's it. That's a great game. I didn't even get far in that shit, man. I'd like, spoiler alert, I just got past the trials. And I said spoiler because there's some real fucked up shit that happens in that moment. I was like, what the fuck? And now you gotta go out on your own. And it was a crazy shit, and I stopped playing it because then I got Resident Evil 7 for like $10. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna play that instead. And I didn't stop. Then I got on this zombie kick, and like I said, I've been playing fucking Dead Rising. So anyhow, that you know, full circle. But they gotta stop. I like E3. I love E3. I want to be involved with E3. I want to sit down, watch E3, and this is what I've done the past 5 years with my boy who. He's a movie buff and a PlayStation guy. He doesn't play anything else but PlayStation. And he's always texting me every time during E3, did you see this? And it doesn't matter what it's for. Yes, he only plays PlayStation, but it didn't matter. He'd watch the Xbox, Microsoft, he'd watch Nintendo, Ubisoft, EA. And he's like, yo, did you see this? Did you see this? Did you see this? Yeah. But it seems like now everything is coming out a month, 2 months in advance. And it's like, dude, what the fuck? You're doing movie trailers for E3. And your game still ain't coming out until November. Stop the shit.
And I hope this is not the end of E3. You know, in a few years, maybe E3 may not be a thing anymore. And they start phasing it out because, you know, I don't want to see that.
Well, I don't know,
I hope
dude.
that never becomes a thing.
E3 makes fucking money. So, I don't know.
Especially now, they opened it to the public. It's like $200 a ticket.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, you know, we'll see how well it gets done because this is really the first time where we know almost 90% of the games prior to it. This never happened before. So we see reception. If the reception is bad on all sides because people walked out of E3 with, high expectations, but nothing was announced because everything was announced already, and we'll see how next year will, pan down. But right now, I just feel like E3, as much as I want to be excited for it, I just feel like I know already the whole thing.
That's how I feel.
I don't feel that way personally because the games I'm looking forward to were either announced last year at E3, like actually at fucking E3,
Spider-Man,
or they haven't even been fucking announced yet. That's where I'm like, I've never even played a Far Cry game. Far Cry 5 looks cool. I might give it a shot if I get around to it. I don't care about Call of Duty. Battlefront, we all fucking knew Battlefront 2 was coming. We all know about Versal Games Star Wars game that's coming out. It's just, for me, it's like, no, I'm going to be surprised because I look for not the, AAA games everyone wants. I look for the ones that I like and that I know aren't going to be fucking announced before and that's why I have to praise Bethesda. I'm a fucking Bethesda fanboy. Live with it. That's why I have to praise them, When Doom was announced, Doom was fucking announced at E3. They didn't spoil that shit. We had no idea it was fucking coming. Fallout 4, not a fucking word was said. Everyone was expecting Elder Scrolls 6. And now even Skyrim Special Edition. I never once fucking thought Skyrim Special Edition would come out for the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One and be moddable. I had no fucking idea. I hoped. I kept asking. I was like, please, one day, please. Just for the sake of it not crashing on my 360 anymore. Please. And that's why I'm like, Elder Scrolls 6. And if it doesn't get announced, I'm not going to be disappointed because it's just a hope. It's just something that's there. And that's kind of how I do it. That's how I do most every E3 is just go for the games that I want. If there's other games that look cool, fuck yeah. If they get announced before then, whatever. Cool. At least I'll get to see some gameplay.
All right.
There's something else I was going to say. Oh yeah, Left 4 Dead 3. I wanted to chime in on that.
Yes.
It won't happen.
Shut up! Don't chime in! Don't chime in!
They don't know how to count to 3, dude. Half-Life 3 hasn't even fucking came out yet.
Listen. I love Half-Life. Fuck Half-Life 3. Left 4 Dead 3 is where it's at. And resurrect Bill and say that bullshit dumb passing didn't happen and bring back Bill. Left 4 Dead 3. Bill's back. God damn it, Francis! That's what I want.
I got a quick funny story. So, me and the wife were watching E3 last year, and one of the trailers looked exactly like Left 4 Dead related, and we were getting all excited, and it wasn't Left 4 Dead.
It was like State of Decay or some shit, right?
Yes, it was State of Decay.
Yes, I remember that.
I was like, oh my god, is it Left 4 Dead 3? Is it? We're all screaming, what the fuck is State of Decay?
Yeah, no, I feel the same way because I was like, Left 4 Dead 3. I mean, like, I got a wood, shit popped out of it, and there was a child born without a female. It was weird. It was like, boom, oh shit, I just signed it. Oh, he's dead because it's not Left 4 Dead 3, son of a bitch. He died.
Dude, if it happens, I'm gonna call you and be like, hey, Left 4 Dead 3's a thing now. You want to play it?
It's pretty much all I want. I gotta be honest. Honestly, out of everything, if they were to announce, because again, there's so much shit that's already came out. I'm like, what the fuck? There's no surprises for E3. I would love for Valve to be like Left 4 Dead 3, and then they'll do some weird ass shit where it's like Bill's back, which means Freeman's back equates to hashtag Half-Life 3 confirmed. I'll be like, wait, what? Now I'll take it all. I'll take it all.
Watch Half-Life 3 get confirmed to no Left 4 Dead 3. Fucking watch it.
Yeah, dude. Man, I'll be really mad. Again, I'm just looking forward to, as far as surprises go, give me some Halo 6. I'm okay with that. I would love Left 4 Dead 3. Shit, there was another one. Batman, another art. There's going to be some DC game. I'm telling y'all right now, there's going to be a DC game, whether it's Batman, whether it's Superman, whether it's Justice League. Something's coming from Rocksteady in the vein of DC. That is what I'm looking forward to. I would love another Batman game. It's about time. It's about time. And it's been very mum, okay? But that's what I'm looking forward to.
Maybe a new franchise. Didn't the Arkham games finish with the last one? That was like their official last one.
You see what the sales were, man? That shit ain't finished. But I'll tell you this. You know what's coming? You know what's coming? Nobody's going to see it coming. You know what's coming? Grand Theft Auto 6.
Oh, yeah. That's way overdue.
It's time. You know, think about it. If Rockstar is going to drop, why not fucking two birds, one stone? Grand Theft Auto 6 and Red Dead Redemption 2, same year. They will fucking kill it. You drop one early in the fucking year and one later in the year, and they will kill it.
I think Rockstar would win E3. Fuck the consoles.
Yeah.
They would win E3.
They would absolutely.
Which would be great for Microsoft. GTA 6 launch with the Scorpio. That would sell it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Because the Scorpio does need a game to push it. I think GTA 6, because GTA 5 is beautiful. Imagine that 4K on the Scorpio. That would drive people.
Ooh,
that game drives
completely
people.
forgot this one. Sorry to interrupt. Scalebound has some life after they canceled it. That fucking Microsoft Dragon game that looked fucking amazing, and they canceled it. Yeah, that's coming back.
Oh, if you're going to do that, I would be remiss if I didn't shout out my brother, J-Rod, a.k.a. Grave Givers, who is a fucking diehard, what the fuck is that, Monster Hunter fan. And I'm going to say the Nintendo Next, that's what it's called, right? Next?
Nintendo Switch.
Switch, whatever it's called. Yeah, Switch. Nintendo Switch, Monster Hunter. That's for you, J-Rod.
Oh, that's right. They did announce a few days ago, Double X, Monster Hunter XX.
Oh, there you go. So I took a guess in there. Look at that. I'm a prophet.
I guess it's my turn. And I'm actually going to say one game per console, what I'm expecting. Halo 6 for Microsoft. Shadow of the Tomb Raider, the third Tomb Raider for PlayStation that's been rumored for a while. I believe that the next Tomb Raider will be announced.
As whoa. As an exclusive.
I don't know if it's going to be exclusive.
You know, but that's what I'm saying. Because you said you was going to go
because
consoles.
Because here's the thing, if you remember last year's Tomb Raider anniversary, it's always put on PlayStation first, but it's only 6 months exclusivity until it can get on everything else.
Right.
But for the first 6 months, it's going to be on PlayStation. But that's what I'm saying, PlayStation 4 for Shadow of the Tomb Raider, then of course 6 months later, it's going to be on PC and Xbox and everything else.
Gotcha.
For Nintendo, I'm expecting a new Metroid. For PC, I'm expecting hopefully Left 4 Dead 3.
No, not PC. Fucking Xbox 2. Come on, man.
I would say Steam or Xbox, whatever it is, because I feel like it will go on Steam first. But regardless, those are my one picks for each thing, each platform. I'll say platform for this.
Left 4 Dead 3. Left 4 Dead 3 Resurrection of Bill. God damn it, Francis. I love that guy. Zoe. I love that fucking goddamn I didn't kill Bill for. You son of a bitch. I'm sorry, guys.
Bill's here.
Got Bill's here. Yes. Oh, God damn it. I fucking love it so much. See, I'll tell you this. For all you PC gamers listening to this shit right now, I buy a PC straight up just so I could fucking mod that game and have it the Return of the Living Dead version of Left 4 Dead.
Oh, yeah. That's a mod for Left 4 Dead 2, by the way, for the PC.
Because I had freaking zombie stormtroopers and Godzilla in mind.
The Return of the Living Dead, I saw it's Left 4 Dead 2 mod. Because
it is.
They had the characters from 1 in it. That's the one I saw. It was Bill, it was Francis, Lewis, and Zoe.
No, I had it on my, actually, this laptop when I had Left 4 Dead 2 on it. There's a survival map mod, plays Return of the Living Dead music. All the zombies are reminiscent of the zombies in that.
Aww.
And you could board up the fucking crematorium and you played as the characters from the film.
From the film?
Yep, so you played as the characters from the film.
Is I could play as Spider? And I could be
yes, you could.
And then I could have said, I'll bust you in the damn head. Oh man,
Dude, fuck! Now I'm gonna look for that mod again.
that movie's great. So, but I'm just saying, I saw a Left 4 Dead, Return of the Living Dead mod, and it had the original 4 from the first game, and those are my characters. I take nothing away from Part 2. I love Part 2, but the first Left 4 Dead, because I had nothing to do with it. I didn't want nothing to do with it. Blew my mind. So I'm just saying, Left 4 Dead 3, Bill's Resurrection, baby.
Hoping. And anyway, I think we should start wrapping this up, guys. It was a phenomenal podcast. Thank you, G1 and JR, to be with me. Before I say goodbye, I do want a quick thing for all the fans who have a PlayStation 4. 3 weeks. The remake of Crash Bandicoot Trilogy is coming out June 30th. Please buy it, because anyone who grew up with PlayStation 1 probably played Crash Bandicoot. And if it sells well, Sony says they will try and redo the Spyro games. So please, everyone, go buy that. And with that, I want everyone to say goodbye, and we'll be out of here.
Bye.
So,
Latest.
take care, guys.